Okay, I'm watching this, and the chemistry you have with Don here is outstanding.
Right.
Is that difficult to connect with your co-star, who's also directing you, who also wrote the script?
Yes, no, not in this case, because Don is somebody who I've always admired as an actor. And then as a man, I met him socially here and there over the years. And I guess after his performance in Hotel Rwanda, and I met him, and I'd spent some time in Africa with UNICEF. And so we met somewhere, I can't remember, we were sort of crossing, it was maybe in something like this, a junket. He was doing a junket for one movie, I was doing a junket for another. And we met crossing in the corridor, and we stopped to talk. And we ended up talking about that, Africa and Rwanda, and I could see that he was a man of integrity, and he felt deeply about what he was talking about, as I do. And so I felt I always had a great high regard for him. And so when he got in touch with me to play this part in this movie, and I found out what it was, and that not only was he playing an iconic figure like Miles Davis, who, goodness me, the pressure of that alone is enormous, but not only that, but he was directing the film. He'd co-written the film, he was co-producing the film. I just felt like I really wanted to be there with him. I wanted to be part of it and make sure that help to make his film, help to make the film made, you know. So it was easy with all of that backstory to play the scenes with him, because he is somebody I really admire. Mm-hmm. And in the film, you know, Dave Braden's dealing with this iconic guy, Miles Davis. So, you know, it was easy to play that.
It's a lot of fun watching you kind of embrace this character. Where was the research for him? Because if I'm not mistaken, he is not a real character.
Yeah, he's just invented. Well, I didn't really do any research. I don't really do a great deal of research for characters in a very I don't know how I come about it. I don't sit and read books about journalism or read great pieces of journalism, or I just sort of play the guy on the page. I feel like he was very clearly written. Mm-hmm. I didn't go about it trying to play a journalist. I went about trying to play Dave Braden, and journalism is what he does, I guess. But maybe not. He's maybe not a very good journalist. He certainly doesn't seem to be very well regarded by anyone. So I sort of focused on all of those things. And there's very little research you can do sometimes for characters other than in your own conscious or subconscious mind, you know. Yeah. I think a lot of it is just to do with the very first time you read the script. I think that's really important as an actor, that when you read the script for the first time, everything you do on set is going to go back to that first experience you had of the film in your head. And so I think I saw him very clearly, and so that was it, really.
I think the whole thing, the hair, everything, it just, the way you looked like this guy. You look like this guy. Was that...
Well, I had the luxury of with Don, creating him, you know. I mean, there was no guy to look like. We didn't have pictures of him because he didn't exist, so we made him up, and that's fun. As an actor, that's really good fun. I mean, it's also fun to be able to look at, you know, I've played characters who are alive, whose interviews I can watch, and then you're trying to mimic them, and that's one skill, and you know, another one is coming up with those details of character in your own imagination, which this was more.